Her blog, which was called Raising Ziggy, resonated with thousands of mums, and things very quickly grew. She's now a mum of 2. She's a community builder, a social media mentor, a sustainability advocate, and I'm pretty sure I'm just scraping the surface with those things, because she wears many, many hats and champions many amazing causes, like cloth nappies, which she has just done a webinar on, and fighting period poverty. And she also speaks up on taboo subjects like mental health, postpartum recovery, and the challenges of motherhood. So it is so fantastic to have you here again, Em. Thank you for doing this. 2 webinars in a row is a bit of a mammoth effort, but we're all very glad that you're doing it. And I'll hand over to you now.
Thank you. I don't mind doing 2 in a row. This is 3 hours in my office away from the kids this afternoon. This is fantastic. Oh, so many familiar faces. Ko te mea tuatahi, ka mihi atu kia rangi nui, e tui honei, kia papatuanaku, e takoto nei, mō ngā raua tamariki katoa, tēnā koutou. Ka mihi kia koe Julie mō tō mahi nunui ki tēnei kaupapa, kei te mihi whakamutunga kia koutou, mō tō kaitiakitanga, e mō tō awhina ki o tinana. Nō reira tēnā koutou kia ora tātou katoa. Hi, hey crew. Oh, so many names I recognise. We're just going to have a wine and a yarn. It's really cool that you've taken time out of your Saturday to come and join in on a little chat about period products. I know for a lot of you, you've heard me talk about this all the time. So please make the most of having me here. Put questions in the chat, send questions through, and I will get to as many as I can. Just a bit of housekeeping from me. Where is it? There we go. Don't feel like you have to remember everything. There is a fancy highlight on my page there called Period Talk, and it is going to share a lot of what we talk about today. I also want to shout out to my sponsor for this webinar, which is Hello Period. There is a discount code, it's officially M, 10% store-wide, and they do everything. Pads, undies, cups, and discs, which we are going to talk about really soon. They've also got some cool little videos about how things go where, and how you get them in, right? Because it's not that sort of workshop. Anyway, I'm stoked that you guys are here. You know that I am a huge advocate of reusable period products, not just because it saves money and not just because it's so much better for the environment, but because it's so much better for our bodies. Using reusables, it's more gentle on our bodies. A lot of work I did when I was doing the Mahi with the Good Fund, we spoke to so many people who had reactions to using disposable pads, who had reactions to using tampons. You know, like if you use a tampon towards the end of your bleed, when you pull it out, you get that dry feeling and you can actually have little bits of cotton left in your body. They're not wonderful. And so it's really awesome that there are other products out there that are much more gentle on a part of the body that deserves a lot of love and care. And what I also find it does when you move to reusables is you start to become more in tune with your body and with your period. And I really wish this was something that it didn't take me until being 31 or 32 to figure out. But knowing what my period looks like, knowing the color and the consistency of what comes out of my body, it's really empowering stuff. It really changes the way that I approach my period every month. It's almost something I look forward to, as silly as that may sound. I enjoy a period these days. And that's not something I enjoyed when I was younger. And I think for me, a big part of that is reusables. So we're going to go through today the 4 most common types of reusable product, pros, cons, price, and a little bit of info on each one. The first one up first is the cloth pad. Now, sorry about the sun glare. I don't do a lot in my office in the afternoon because it just streams on through, but we'll get there. These are cloth pads. Cloth pads are your simple step in to reusable period products because they work in a really similar fashion to a disposable pad. They sit in your underwear and they absorb your menstrual blood. They come in a huge range of sizes and of absorbency. This one here is more suited to postpartum. This one here, you can use a little bit like a liner. And as a general rule of thumb, the flashier the technology and the more absorbent the product, the more expensive the product. So you could get this one here that's quite chunky, or the one that Hello Period just sent me is so thin, so absorbent. This one's actually quite flash team. It's got, you can't really see it, but it's got raised little bobbles so that it doesn't slip around in your undies. So you just wear normal underwear. I mean, you can use period underwear, but we'll get to that. The pad goes in, you change it throughout the day, and then you pop it in the wash. They don't smell. The biggest question I get asked about reusable pads and period underwear is, do they smell? No. That hot blood aroma in a disposable pad, that's the pad. It's not you. It's the plastic. It's it not being able to breathe. It's everything that's in there. There's like the equivalent of 4 plastic bags in a pack of disposable pads. So don't worry about smell. When I was really new to this, I got AJ to sniff test just because I wanted to be sure that like what I was saying was true, and he couldn't smell anything. So you're all good. Moving on from cloth pads, we have my favorite. All of the period underwear, all of it. It's wonderful. Period underwear is just this absolutely phenomenal invention where they are undies and then built into the underwear is absorbency. These are awesome for young people. These are awesome for sleeping in, or for me they are anyway. The biggest difference with period underwear across the brands is where the absorbency is. Some will just have it in the gusset, and some will have it all the way up to the back. So I know with Vitals, when you go onto their website and you look at period underwear, it has a little diagram that shows you exactly how far the absorbent piece comes up at the front and at the back. If you are a front bleeder, you want something that comes further up the front of the underwear. If you're wearing them at night, you want something that comes further up the back of the underwear. They're so accessible now. They sell them at Kmart. You can get period underwear anywhere, and you just put them on. They're my favorite because there's no fuss at all. I get up in the morning, I put them on, and I carry on with my day. At the end of the day, they go into the washing machine as well. Absolutely awesome. The only downside, I guess, is you need quite a few pairs to manage your period with period underwear. And if it hasn't stopped raining in 8 months, like it hasn't up here, they take a while to dry. But we talked about this in the cloth nappy workshop. If you have a hot water cylinder you just hang them in there overnight and they will be mint in the morning.
Em, just a question on that. Oh,
Yes.
also heated towel rail works well if you instead of a hot water cylinder. But oh gosh, I've just lost it. Where's the question? Oh yeah, do you have to rinse them out before you put them in the wash? That was the question. And can you put them in the dryer is another one that's just come through.
People say you have to rinse them. I don't. I just chuck them in the wash. But a really good way of rinsing them is just to take them into the shower with you in the morning. So if you're using a pad or undies all night and there's quite a lot in there, just when you have a shower, just stomp them. You can rinse them out. Don't soak them, just chuck them in with a normal warm wash, good detergent. Some will say, yes, you can put them in the dryer. Some will say, no, you can't. I know with Hello Period, because it's not cotton, these are all good to go in the dryer. But just like cloth nappies, put it on low and slow. You can put anything in the dryer on low and slow. She says, not actually owning a dryer. But there's no don't make it tricky. I should have said this for the cloth nappy one. Don't worry about having all your ducks lined up. Wear them, put them on, put them in the wash. If you come up against an issue, there are so many avenues for support. There is an entire Facebook page dedicated to reusable period product advice. You might find out stuff about your body that you didn't know. Some people find that the inside of the pad or the underwear bleaches. That's an acidity factor with your vagina. It's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just part of our body, you know. So wear them, chuck them in the wash, warm wash or not too hot, and you're good to go. The thing with the pads and the undies is you need quite a few. So, you know, if the pads $10 to $30 each, the undies $20 to $40 each, you can get discounts, you can get bulk buys, but in essence you need quite a few. You're not going to do your whole period on one pair of undies or one cloth pad. Shit would just get quite messy. So the other options out there are these puppies and this puppy. These ones here are menstrual cups. This little doodacky, adult sizing, well, adult sizing, teen sizing, that will do you a period for a decade. You just use the one from when you start bleeding. You can even put it in before you start bleeding. You know, if you've got somewhere to go when you're at that, I think my period might come today, but I don't quite know. You can use a menstrual cup and you just squish them so that they make a pretty little happy smiley face like that. They go into your body the same way a tampon does. You just insert them into your vagina and they sit there and they collect your menstrual blood. Depending on your flow, and your flow is something that you'll get to understand when you use reusables, you might be able to wear that all day and not have to empty it until the evening, or you might have to empty it during the day. And that is just taking it out, emptying it into the toilet, rinsing it under the tap, and then putting it back up there again. Now, I used to absolutely love menstrual cups. I still do. And I feel like if you have a non-problematic vagina and you want a single option, then a menstrual cup is a really good option. And what I mean by a non-problematic vagina is you haven't had kids yet. If you haven't had kids, the chances of a menstrual cup working for you are quite high because everything's still where it's supposed to be up there, right? Once you have kids, soz, stuff gets a bit tangy and droopy and squishy, and a lot of people find that that lovely menstrual cup that works so well for them doesn't work as well for them anymore. Now, 2 years ago, when that was the problem, the only option you really had was to spend lots of money trying every single cup under the sun, because there are so many different menstrual cups. Have you guys seen my bag of tricks? Like, these are all the different sizes, makes, models, colors, variety. It's quite overwhelming. There are so many out there. You've got little ones if you've got a low cervix and you don't have a lot of real estate up in there. You've got really where's my really firm ones if you've got prolapse and you need to hold everything up. There are so many options. So what I would say is, if you're younger, if you're in your teens, if you're in your early 20s, if you don't have a prolapse, you could just try your standard Hello cup. But if you have a problematic vagina, if you have prolapse, if you have all of those other things, ta-da! This is the new kid on the block. This, I remember when I first saw a menstrual cup and I was like, do you get that where it's supposed to go? Right? That seemed impossible. And then I saw this. What is that? That is a disc. And it's pretty amazing because it doesn't take up as much room inside you. So if you've got a low cervix or if you've got a prolapse, it can work around that. You just squeeze it in half. This bit is how you pull it out, and you just put it in, but you don't put it up like you put a tampon or a cup up. You kind of scoop it down towards your tailbone, and it scoops in and sits in there under the cervix and holds everything. It is amazing. I can't give you a demo, but the website I showed you shows how it goes in and shows how it sits there. And then it has, just like a cup, it's got a really good capacity to collect menstrual fluid. So this is doing the rounds. I've had so many people message me who, for whatever reason, their cup doesn't work anymore, mainly 2 or 3 children later, who are like, the disc has changed my life. Looks like a diaphragm, if anyone remembers the old diaphragms from back in the days. My mum's used to be in the shower. It used to fully gross me out. And now I'm that mum, just puts them in the shower to gross her kids out. Except my kids aren't grossed out by it. They're so used to all of this stuff that they know what they're called and they know what they're for. So yeah, do we have any questions about the cups or the discs or anything that hasn't been covered in that?
Yes, we do. This was in relation to the disc. What is the capacity?
Oh, that's a really good question. They say, is it 4 or 5 tampons worth? The actual mils, I'm not sure. I will pour some water in it. Just trying to see. 50 mil.
Oh,
50
wow.
mil capacity. There you go. They also say that you can use it for mess-free period sex. But the feedback I've had from some of the crew who have tried that is that it doesn't quite work. So it's probably, again, cycle dependent as to how much blood is in it and how much you are bleeding throughout the day, which you start getting a really good handle on. Because our period, you're not bleeding the same amount consistently for those 5 to 8 days. And there may be some days where you need to empty it, and there may be some days where it will last you all throughout the day.
Okay, we've got some questions pouring in. How do you remove them? This is for cups and discs. How do you remove them without tipping them?
With the cup is really important to take out properly. The little tabby thing on the end of a cup is not to pull it. If you were to just pull a cup out of your body, you actually create suction and you can do damage. A lot of the bad press about menstrual cups is because people don't know how to take them out properly. What you need to do is use this little knobby thing. All of the cups have some form of end on them, and use that to find the menstrual cup in your body, and then you give it a little squeeze with 2 fingers and twist it out. That little squeeze just displaces enough air that it doesn't create suction as it comes out, and then you're holding on to it, because if you pull it out by this, when it comes out it just flops everywhere. Done that. Luckily it was in the shower. Look, absolutely like I'd killed someone. So you want to use both your fingers, go like that, and then you can just tip it down the toilet, outside, down the shower, wherever your blood is going. With the disc, I'm still in the shower stage with this puppy because it is much shallower. But you find a tab, and then you can actually just pull it. It doesn't need as much rummaging as the cup does to come out, because it's not creating any suction in your body because of the shape of it. And then the idea is when you pull it out, it's already angled the tip into the toilet. I highly recommend getting comfortable with them in the shower. It's like, I remember the first time I was 15 and the first time I used a tampon, and I was there in the bathroom with that heavily folded up instructional paper with it all out, reading my way through the steps of what you did, because it felt so foreign. And then, you know, a year later, non-applicator, I'm away laughing. It's the same. There is a learning curve around using any reusable product. So you want to get comfortable where you're comfortable. For me, my comfortable is the shower. If we're talking about kids who are going to school, hopefully if they're comfortable enough to wear a little cup, ideally when we're younger, our flow isn't as heavy, so it can be something that gets put in at home and doesn't get emptied until we're back at home. You can double it up with just some funky pretty period underwear for that extra protection. And they're not bulky. It's not like wearing a nappy. It's just a pair of undies that give you a little bit of extra comfort and peace of mind.
Awesome. Are discs okay if you have an IUD? Anything that you need to do to be careful?
They are. You can use them with an IUD. You just want to be mindful when you're putting it in and when you're taking it out to go slowly. I shared this video where this lady's literally like, and you can rip it out of your body. You don't want to rip anything out of your body, team. You just want to go gently. But yes, they can be used with an IUD. Hello. Sorry, my little guy's come to join in. You're not meant to be out here.
Hang on, there's more coming.
Right, off you go. See ya. Shut my door.
Does the disc come in teen sizes, Em?
No, they just have the one size for the disc. And I think they were designed because there were so many issues post birth with finding the right cup, and people don't have the financial capability to spend $40 on a cup, it doesn't work, spend another 40, it doesn't work, you know. So they wanted something that was easier to use if cups don't work for you. For younger people, where's my little one? for younger people, the cups are really cool options. And one thing I loved about the cup I used to use is it was clear and I could see what was in it. But if you don't want to see what's in it, then you can get the Hello ones, which have just really pretty colours to them, which is always nice. And you don't have to see as much.
Sorry, you just keep going.
Sterilize them before you use them. So you can get sterilizing tablets, or you can do it in the microwave if you've got your own little container. You don't have to sterilize them throughout your entire period, just at the start of your cycle. In between, you can just water and soap or just water wash and insert it back in again.
Awesome. Okay, is it trial and error to find a cup or disc brand that suits your body best? That's the hurdle for me, the cost of trying different brands.
Yeah, completely understandable, because the majority of people will be fine with a regular medium size bog standard cup. But if you're not that person, it can be really damn tricky to find the right one for you. There are two avenues. There is a website, there is a quiz called Put a Cup in It, great title, where you can go in and put information and it spits you out some options. Doesn't have a lot of New Zealand based brands, but you can Google like, what's the closest New Zealand brand to this? You can also call the My Cup team. They are really good at talking people through where the issue lies. Generally, if you've tried one and it doesn't work for you, that's a bloody brilliant problem solving start point, because from that one, it's much easier to problem solve what isn't working. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they think that after you have a child, you need a large cup because, childbirth magically expands your vagina, which isn't actually the case, because sometimes the larger cups aren't as good because the actual vaginal canal is squishing in on it and it's not opening up properly. I'm always happy to help try and problem solve as much as I can, but the quiz is a cool place to start. And if you've had issues with cups, the disc would be your logical next choice, because it doesn't matter if you've got a low cervix, a high cervix, a tilted cervix, a prolapse, it just squiggles its way in there and catches it all.
Cool. It's 4:30. There's 4 more questions. Do you want to try and do them quick fire?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, here we go. Is the disc messy to remove compared to the cup?
Yes. In the beginning, yes.
Okay.
Just because the design size, but I'm getting better, so you'll get better too.
Awesome. Are any of the Hello undies cotton?
No, I had a big chat to her about that, about why not. And it's the technology they use with the absorbency, so they are super absorbent, but they're not cotton. It's, when I was talking to Robin, it was a juggle between the longevity. I'm finding that some of my cheaper cotton ones from 3 years ago are now kaput. But at the moment, they've just got this one here and that one there. They are really absorbent. And I like these ones because they have a high waist, but the gusset doesn't come all the way up on either side. No, not all undies are equal.
Okay. Storage of used pads if you're out and about. That's a good one.
Yes. So what you can do is, where is it? You can fold them up nice and small. So if they've got the domes on them, you can just kind of dome them into a small packet, and then little mini wet bags. So these are really cool. These can go in a school bag. Heck, they could go in a handbag. No one would even know. And you just put them in there until you get home. And then you put them into the wash.
Awesome. Lucky last question. It's a bit of a controversial one. Any brands to avoid for any of the options?
Right, I'm going to be a good person. When it comes to menstrual cups, don't get any of the cheap ones off like Wish or AliExpress or Temu. I don't even know if they do them. They're really crap quality. They discolor and they collapse quickly. You want to, if it's something going into your body, you want to know that whoever's made it has followed protocol around what you're putting into your body. So no 50-cent menstrual cups. I had one here to show, but it's gone somewhere, but they're just terrible things. Otherwise, not really. It's totally up to you as to what your budget is. And like, I got a pair of the Bonds undies just because I wanted to try them out, and they're working sweet. They're a bit faded, and the cotton's a bit more pulley than the undies and the Vitals. And then the Hello is super absorbent, so they do have a little bit of a ridge to them, but they come up really nice and comfortably around your puku. Yeah, no, just don't buy anything off dodgy websites where you don't know the process that's gone into making them, because you're putting them on and in a really absorbent part of your body.
Awesome. That's it. That's all of the questions. I just have to say, there are some gorgeous little babies in some people's videos. There's a time, yeah, look at them, they're so lovely. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm sure, I don't think I need to say I hope, I'm sure that you found that really useful. I personally have found it really useful, and am going to try something a bit different. So thank you, Em. Thank you as well for normalizing a subject which shouldn't be taboo, but for some reason is still a little bit taboo. And I love how natural you are about it, and yeah, how you just speak so comfortably, and it puts everyone else at ease as well. So thank you so much. Oh look, little babies.
I will talk about periods to anyone at any time. It's just my go-to topic. I'm going to run this again. I'm going to do this again in about 3 weeks' time for anyone who missed it, or anyone who wants to come back for a longer session. I'll put details of my story, and I'll put a question box up there as well. So if you get off this and you've got questions, jump onto Insta. Give me a little while. I have to go and reconnect with the fam. But I'll put a question box up there, and we can go through anything I may not have covered.
Amazing. And did you say there was a discount code for Hello?
Yes. So Hello period have 10% off. Officially M. The link is in my highlight. It's on everything in store that they have. And I know it's a big help with getting the disc or with getting the cups.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're so welcome.
Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and a wonderful plastic-free July. Yeah. Oh, I should quickly say, if anyone wants to come back in 20 minutes, there's one more free webinar happening today. It's seed bomb making with Penny from Crafty Girl Life Hacks. Cool family activity, cool kids activity, cool parents activity, anyone activity. Just head to Plastic Free July Aotearoa to find the link to get to that. That's in 20 minutes time.
Sweet. Cheers everyone. It's so lovely seeing your faces. Last Zoom everyone had their faces hidden. Yeah. So I'm just going through all these names and faces. I know it's beautiful.
It is. It's lovely. And nice seeing some young people here too. It's very cool. Ka kite.
Dear crew.